Over time, in the media controlled by the powerful in the world, in this world, victims are rebranded as villains. When the genocidal forces fled to Zaire, now the Democratic Republic of Congo, in July 1994, with the support of the external backers, they vowed to reorganize and return to complete the genocide. They conducted hundreds of cross-border terrorist attacks inside Rwanda over the next 5 years, targeting not only survivors, but also other Rwandans who had refused to go into exile, claiming thousands more lives. The remnants of those forces are still in eastern Congo today, where they enjoy state support in full view of the United Nations peacekeepers. Their objectives have not changed. And the only reason this group today, known as FDLR, has not been disbanded is because their continued existence serves some unspoken interest. As a result, hundreds of thousands of Congolese Tutsi refugees live here in our country, in Rwanda, and beyond, completely forgotten, and no program of action for their safe return. Have we really learned any lessons? We see too many actors, even some from Africa, getting directly involved as tribal politics is given renewed prominence and ethnic cleansing is prepared and practiced. What has happened to us? Is this the Africa we want to live in? Is this the kind of world we want? Rwanda's tragedy is a warning. The process of division and extremism, which leads to genocide, can happen anywhere if left unchecked. Throughout history, survivors of mass atrocities are always expected to be quiet, to censor themselves, or else be erased and even blamed for their own misfortune. Their testimony is living evidence of complicity, and it unsettles the fictions which comfort the enablers and the bystanders. The more Rwanda takes full responsibility for its own safety and dignity, the more intensely the established truth about the genocide is questioned and revised. Over time, in the media controlled by the powerful in the world, in this world, victims are rebranded as villains. And even this very moment of commemoration is derived as a mere political tactic. It is not. It never has been. Our reaction to such a hypocrisy is pure disgust. We commemorate because those lives mattered to us. Rwandans cannot afford to be indifferent to root causes of genocide. We will always pay maximum attention, even if we are alone. But what we are seeking is solidarity and partnership to recognize and confront these threats together as a global community. I'll tell you another story. One night, in the later days of the genocide, I received a surprise visit past midnight from General Dallaire. He brought a written message of which I still have a copy from the French general commanding the force that France had just deployed in the western part of our country. That operation took us. The message said that we would pay a heavy price, meaning those of us, the RPF, if our forces dared to try to capture the town of Butare, that is in southern part of our country. So, and General Dallaire gave me additional advice. He said, in fact, he warned me. He said that the French had attacked helicopters and all kinds of arms, every kind of heavy weapon you can imagine, and therefore were prepared to use them against us if we did not comply. I asked Dallaire, I asked him whether French soldiers bleed the same way ours do. I asked him whether we have blood in our bodies. Then I thanked him and told him that he should just go and have rest and sleep, and have his sleep, after informing the French that our response would follow. And it did. I immediately radioed the commander of the forces that were actually in that direction, in that area, is called Fred Ibingira, and told him to get ready to move to fight. We took Butare, which we were being warned not to enter. We took that town at dawn. Within weeks, the entire country had been secured, and we began rebuilding. We did not have the kind of arms that were being used to threaten us. But I reminded some people that this is our land, this is our country. Those who bleed will bleed over it. We had lost all fear. Each challenge or indignity just made us stronger. After the genocide, we faced the puzzle of how to prevent it from recurring. There were three broad lessons we learned as a result of our experience. First, only we as Rwandans and Africans can give full value to our lives. After all, we cannot ask others to value African lives more highly than we ourselves do. That is the root of our duty to preserve memory and tell our history as we lived it. Second, never wait for rescue or ask for permission to do what is right to protect people. And that's why some people must be joking when they threaten us with all kinds of things and they don't know what they're talking about. But in any case, that's why Rwanda participates proudly in peacekeeping operations today and also extends assistance to African brothers and sisters bilaterally when asked. Third, stand firm against the politics of ethnic populism in any form. Genocide is populism in its purified form because the causes are political. The remedies must be as well. For that reason, our politics is not organized on the basis of ethnicity or religion, and it never will be again. The life of my generation has been a recurring cycle of genocidal violence in 30-year intervals from the early 1960s to 1994 to the signs we see in our region today in 2024. Only a new generation of young people have the ability to renew and redeem a nation after genocide. Our job was to provide the space and the tools for them to break the cycle, and they have. What gives us hope and confidence are the children we saw in the performance area, or the youth who created the tradition of Walk to Remember that will occur later today. Nearly 3/4 of Rwandans today are under age 35. They either have no memory of the genocide or were not yet born. Our youth are the guardians of our future and the foundation of our unity, with a mindset that is totally different from the generation before. Today, it is all Rwandans who have conquered fear. Nothing can be worse than what we have already experienced. This is a nation of 14 million people who are ready to confront any attempt to take us backwards. The Rwandan story shows how much power human beings have within them. Whatever power you do have, you might as well use it to tell the truth and do what is right. During the genocide, people were sometimes given the option of paying for a less painful death. There is another story I learned about at the time, which always sticks in my mind, about a woman at a roadblock. In her final moments, she left us a lesson that even every African should live by. Every African should live by this lesson. When asked by the killers how she wanted to die, she looked them in the eye and spit in their face. Today, because of the accident of survival, our only choice is what life we want to live. Our people will never, and I mean never, be left for dead again. I thank you.